California is one of California's biggest towns. Not only that, it is among one of the busiest train corridors in the United States. But to understand how we got here, we must go back to the beginning. In the video, I'll only be able to explain key moments, and I won't be able to explain everything about the topic. In the 1980s, Amtrak needed a new fleet of sustainable equipment for the trains in California. As the new General Electric P40DCs began to replace their dashes and F40PHs, Amtrak needed a new franchise for their California routes and their new train sets. Amtrak saw Canada's GO Transit's and Southern California Regional Rail Authority's Electromotive Division, short for EMD, F59PHs. Amtrak then got an idea. And so what now? Amtrak worked with EMD to make a new locomotive. There, the F59PHI was invented. The F59PHI standard for full width cow body, and 59 for the model number, P for passenger gearing, H for head and power, and I for isolated cab. You most likely don't know what these mean, but it basically means that the train is powered by one end and is using electrical power from the locomotive to power the rest of the train cars. The F59PHI arrived in California in 1994 at Northern California, then introduced at Oakland, Jack London Square. Amtrak ordered new fleets of F59 and had a total of 83 units. Amtrak renamed Amtrak San Diego to the Pacific Surfliner. Amtrak then sold some units to the Pacific Surfliner, then sold some to Amtrak's new service called Amtrak Northwest, also known as Amtrak Cascades. Amtrak kept some units in Northern California for Amtrak San Joaquin service, also known as the Capital Corridor. By then, many riders have turned to Amtrak for a more reliable way of transportation. Amtrak has also rebuilt most of their fleet of F59s on the Capital Corridor. The new rebuilt F59s were supposed to have a less fuel consumption and reduce smog released into the air. But by 2020, trains began to operate less often due to the pandemic. By then, Amtrak has received most of their fleet of new locomotives, but most of them were inoperable due to the lack of public transportation needed. But Amtrak had bigger plans. By 2021, Amtrak began many tries to regain readers' attention by taking a train. They made many ads about their safe environment on their trains. In 2022, Amtrak's California's routes and services began in normal operation as they did again. In conclusion, I think riding on Amtrak California is a great way to travel, and I think Amtrak should keep funding these services. And maybe you should try riding on Amtrak.